Go.
Hi guys, today Bruce, Taka and I will introduce Zappos. We think a lot of had do the summaries, know Zappos some information, so we will introduce Zappos from other perspective. Zappos histories. Zappos founded by Nicky in 1991. Tony is just the first investment. And Zappos, at first, Zappos want to use same model with eBase. They get order from customers, then transfer to the manufacturer. Manufacturer will deliver the product to the customers. It brings one problems. 10% of orders can be performed because Zappos don't have inventories, and this some of goods has out of stocks. Amazon bought Zappos in deal at 1.2 billion in 2009. I think everybody has know the information. So, what Zappos sells? Shoes, clothes, bags, and handbags at homes and dealings, like some kitchen electronic. All this is a non-standard product. What is a non-standard product? For example, Kim bought a T-shirt from the internet. When they get the T-shirt, his wife found that it looked ugly. It's a little bigger and the material is not good. What can Kim do when he got the product? At first, we can see what Zappos do. The marketing strategies. Zappos take a photo for each shows from 8 angles and use a video to introduce. It's a huge work. Why Zappos do this work? Zappos want to customer know the shoes truly and to know whether they like shoes, whether it fits for your foot. Then they can make a deal. Encourage returns to drive sales. Free return in 1 year. Zappos encourage customers to buy 2 sets of shoes to make sure one pair of shoes is fit for their foot. Now, back to the problem. Kim, he can just return to Zappos if he buys the T-shirt from Zappos. Think of shipping as a marketing cost. Zappos open a warehouse near the shippers because Zappos understand the customers. When the customer make a deal, they want to get the product as soon as possible. Maybe it's just 1 day to deliver the product from Zappos warehouse to the customer's home. Now, Bruce will introduce the current sales.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Now I'm introducing current sales of Zappos shoes. First, I want to talk about the total sales of Zappos. Today, selling shoes on internet or on website in the United States is a $6 billion job. Then Zappos, the revenue of Zappos last year accounted for almost 20% of the total sales in the United States, and which means $600 million. And also, Zappos is expected to break $1 billion revenue this year. Second, I want to talk about the return rate. The return rate of Zappos shoes is almost 25%, but the company still spend almost $100 million on deliver and return expenses. The reason that keep this company doing this is because the company very focused on customer services, so which also makes the company successful. Third, I want to talk about the gross profit margin of Zappos. Every revenue of each order of Zappos is up to almost $90, and after deduct the deliver and the return expenses, the gross profit margin of Zappos is still up to 35%, which is pretty high, and also makes the company can maintain its operation. Fourth, I want to talk about the inventory turnover rate. The inventory turnover rate of Zappos is almost 147 days, which is pretty high. And also, at the same time, the inventory turnover rate of Amazon is only 34 days, which are quite different. and which means Zappos have pretty high risks. And fifth, I want to talk about the repeated purchase customers. Today, Zappos has almost 5 million customers, but there are 60% of those customers are repeated purchase customers, which means if a customer bought shoes from Zappos, he will come back again and buy shoes from Zappos. And there are also 25% of those customers will keep to invite their friends to come to Zappos and buy shoes, which is the marketing strategy of Zappos and also means word of mouth marketing strategy. Now I'm introducing my team worker, Taka, to make some recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. So I will explain about the 3 recommendations, which we believe that they should expand their business into foreign countries. For instance, Canada and Europe, they know how they can succeed because the culture there is quite similar to America. So that's most easiest way. And also in Africa and the Middle East, they can play a very important role for social responsibility. For instance, they can donate their shoes and their clothing to children who cannot buy by themselves. And also, at the same time, in return, they can negotiate with the government to expand their businesses. Through that process, they can advertise themselves via social media such as Facebook, because they can already do it in the United States. And as a result, they can increase their reputations and recognition, although they are not known there. Second, they also should expand their items, such as suits. In States, they can become Brooks Brothers and Ralph Lauren, so that because they can focus on the order-made suits, as Michael said, they can target at the clothing section. That's because, as Bruce mentioned, the sales in the shoe section will be $1 billion in this year, and on the other hand, the sales in the clothing section will be also $1 billion in next year. And that's because the clothing market is 4 times bigger than the shoes market. So they should rather focus on the clothing market, and then they can become more profitable. Finally, their role model company is global operating companies such as Zara and Armani. Sales in Zara in 2009 is $95 billion, which is much bigger than the one. And also, Armani is a luxury brand. So as we run the serendipity try to make for Eclipse, they can go to high-end market. So to do that, they need to change target of customers. For example, they can target rather executives and the business persons. So they need to put a little bit premium price than now, and as a result, they can increase their sales and net profit also. Thank you very much for listening to our presentation. We're happy to answer.
Any questions?
Yeah, hi.